Hello, I'm back for another video. Today I want to do a sewing room tour. I've actually done this already, but it just didn't turn out how I wanted it, and then I've been wanting to get back to it, but because of the heat and humidity this fall, here I am. Attempting to record again my sewing room. I showed a picture on Instagram of what my sewing room was looking like. It was a disaster. I've had to basically revamp everything and reorganize because I had just gotten to a point, and I think most of us crafters get to a point where we have to just reorganize, go through all of our stuff, see what we need, what we don't need. And so I had just gotten to that point this past summer, and I watched some YouTube videos, got some new ideas, and I'm really happy about the outcome and where I am now, and I'm excited to share it with you. So I'll give you an overview of how my sewing room is looking like now. So my sewing room is actually in our bedroom. I have a little area in our bedroom that I use as my sewing studio. It's right by the window, so it gives me a good amount of light, even though at night it still gets a little dark, so I have lights here and there. So I really love my area. It's a good amount of space. Alright, so let me just jump into it and start this tour. So I'm actually going to start right here. I have this little shelf that I have some of my sewing supplies in. So here's where I keep my thread, my serger thread, and I have them all stored in here, and I have a little ponytail holder. I got this idea from my mother-in-law actually. So I just wrap them, and they actually keep the thread from unraveling. So I just love that idea. Something simple. I just got these ponytail holders from the dollar store. And then down here, I have some patterns and magazine folders and just some other little items. Over here, I keep some of my patterns and wrapping paper. So I got this wrapping paper from Walmart, I think a couple years ago, and I have a couple rolls stored here, and then a lot more over in the corner by my sewing desk. I trace most of my patterns, and I really like this wrapping paper because it has grid lines on the back. And then I have a couple of random patterns on the floor, and then this vase sitting on the floor, and then here's another pattern. I put this magazine folder with double-sided tape. I just taped it on the side of this drawer that I got from IKEA, and I have several of my patterns in there that I have in rolls, paper towel rolls. So I like that idea. It keeps them off of the floor. Then next to that, I have this IKEA drawer. Here's where I have some of my jewelry that I've made, or like trial and error pieces. These are some leaves that I made out of cork fabric. But yeah, these are just like ideas that I've like played around with, and I have those in there. And here's a couple of earring packages, earrings that I've made, and I just have stored here, ready for sale. Just a few pair in there. Here is just a little basket. I got this basket from, I think, the dollar store, and I just have little pieces of fabric so that I can cover up my fabric when I'm using interfacing or fabric that might burn. Here I have a pair of scissors that I can use when I'm at the iron and I might forget a stitch, and I can just clip it while I'm ironing. Then I have my collection of mugs. I like owls, as you can see. So I have those sitting there in a little milk crate that I got from Walmart, I believe. Then next to that, in a little locker basket that I got from the dollar store, I have my ironing supplies. I have some spray starch, a couple of bottles of water to fill my iron with, and then a spray bottle. And then next to that, I have a basket. I got this from the dollar store also, and it just has my tape, some duct tape, a stapler, and just some random masks. In this drawer, I just have some random supplies. Here's some cushion that I use to make a pillow with. And I have my business cards, some napkins, a scale from when I'm mailing out items, and interfacing some flowers that I was going to use for whatever. This is just, I have my jewelry and some other personal items. And here's my first drawer of woven fabric. And then here's another drawer of woven fabric. And I have some of them wrapped with foam board. So as you can see, this one here is wrapped with foam board. And some of them are not wrapped with foam board. I just have them rolled up. And then in the bottom drawer, I have some of my knits. Above that, I have mainly personal items, but in the first, going from right to left, I have some lotion and a thermostat, so you can see it's quite warm in here today. In the next locker bin, I have some DVDs. The next one, I have some candles and some plastic bags, because I revamped a lot of my stuff and put them in plastic containers and took them out of plastic bags. So I still have those in case I need them. In the next locker bin, I have recipes. In the next one, I have pattern pieces and my sunflowers. Then I have a bin of buttons. In the next bin over, I have some other sewing items. I have zippers, some thread. I don't buy like just the small threads that often, but when I need a specific color, I'll just get a small thread roll and store it in there. And then in the top drawer, I have some command hooks. And then I have my lamp. I have some leaf string lights hanging up to add a little razzle dazzle. I actually got these from the dollar store last year, and they're battery operated. They're actually on, even though you can't tell, but yeah. In this wall unit, I got this from Michael's last year. I have some more of my patterns rolled up, and I do have them labeled for the most part. So you can see the names. I try and put the size on there also. Then down here, I have this bin that I believe I got from Target, and it has a lot of my crafting materials that I use for like jewelry making. I have some cardstock in there, so I'll pull that out in a minute. Oh, I forgot under here. Under my dresser, I have this paper cutter that I've had for years. I didn't buy that for sewing related, but I do use it to cut my PDF patterns. And then here I have, this is an ironing board mat that I got from my mother-in-law's stash. And then I have some paper there. This is actually paper that I use for shipping because it has a sticking backing to it. So I'll print my labels and then use that to put on my packages. on this side of my dresser, I put a command hook here, and I have my Cricut mats hanging here. I got this idea. This was like a game changer. I just love this idea. It's something super simple, but it gets my mats up off the floor, because they were sitting over by my desk on the floor, and they would always, whenever I would move something, they would just fall over. So this keeps them nice and organized here. And then I also have this self-adhesive mat that I got from my mother-in-law's stash. And I was using it on my table, but I got another idea, so I'll talk about that in a minute. So, but yeah, this is just another mat that I have. This is my Cricut press that I keep here. Then in here, these drawers, like I said, I have my crafting supplies. These are some dyeing blocks that I got with a shibori dyeing kit. Then I got these little baskets to help organize, and these were game changers too. I just picked these up from the dollar store, and I just have some notepads in here, and I got some sunflower ribbon from, I'm not sure, I think I got this from the dollar store. I haven't used it, but because it has sunflowers, I figured I might use it at some point. Then I got some transfer tape, and I think I got this big roll from Amazon. I have 2 containers of dye. This is the indigo. I think this came with the shibori kit, and then I bought this by itself. This is just some tangerine dye. And I bought these from the dollar store, fuzzy sticks, or kite clingers, I think you call these. I think I got these because I was watching maybe a crafting video, and they used these, and at some point I was going to make something. I'm not sure what I was going to make, but I have those. And then in this little kit, I have some sponges, some little paint sponges. And then these are they're self-adhesive buttons. I think I just got these from my mother-in-law. And this next drawer down, I have some more painting supplies. I got this from Hobby Lobby. It has all kind of different brushes, and I just keep them in this little basket. And I have a roll of faux leather that I got from, I think I got this from Hobby Lobby. And I got that for like making earrings. And I have these little pieces of scrap fabric I made earrings with. I have some more faux fabric in yellow. And I have some tools for jewelry making. This is like a ring measurement, so you can see the measurement for rings. This is just a hammer for doing whatever. And then this is like a filer for doing when I make my wire earrings. I use this to like file the ends down. And then I have several rolls of faux leather. Again, I want to make some earrings or jewelry with this. So I got these rolls from Hobby Lobby. Then down below, I have my large craft sheets. So here's some felt that I bought. It was actually a larger sheet, and I just cut it up. And I plan to make earrings with that. Here's some sunflowers that I got from the dollar store. I plan to make, actually, I might make some earrings with these. Yeah, I just got that idea. I actually bought these to make a sign in our kitchen, but I got those from the dollar store. Here's a canvas board. I actually had 3 of these, or maybe 4. Actually, I think 2 came in a pack. I have 3 signs that I made with my Cricut Maker in the bathroom, and then this is another one that I plan to use at some point. Here's some cork sheets that I got from the dollar store. Once again, I plan to either make some earrings or do a sign in our kitchen, so I just picked these up from the dollar store. Then in this magazine holder, I have a lot of my paper whenever I'm making signs or whatever. And I also have some acrylic paint. that I keep stored in here. I have some fabric markers that I got from my mother-in-law. And I just bought this container that I keep them in from the dollar store. I have this paper cutter that I got with my Cricut maker, but I don't use it. Here's a binder that I keep with like scrap pieces of paper, cardstock. I have some stencils. I have some pattern pieces, like miscellaneous pattern pieces. And I have some faux leather there. And then the rest of it, I have just some sleeves, plastic sleeves. I actually use these for my patterns, so I'll show you how I store my patterns up above, but I keep them like in these plastic sleeves. Then I have some more crafting paper or cardstock that I keep down here. These are the 12 by 12 sizes. I also have some vinyl down here. I got this from Amazon. These are just plain white sheets. Here's just a couple of small packets of cardstock. I think I'll use these to make some earrings. I bought a big piece of foam board from the dollar store and I cut it down the size so that I can wrap my fabric with. And these are just little pieces that I can use for whatever. Either earrings. Actually, I might use these for earrings, maybe. I think it's maybe too thick for the Cricut, right? Yeah. I made this sign, "Life is short," by the fabric. I had it hanging up on my wall, but I took it down because I wanted to put up my sewing machine clock that I got from my mother-in-law. Now we'll come over to my sewing table. I had this sewing table made by a good friend of mine, Mariah, and I love it. It's custom made. It's 70 inches by, I believe, 36 inches. And it's very sturdy, very well built. She also added this little shelf unit down below. This shelf right here she made, and it's built into the table. So I currently have my sewing machine sitting here on top. This is my Brother SE425 that I got from my mother-in-law. It does embroidery. I also bought this fiberglass mat, if you can see it, on top of my table, but it didn't work out because it was just when I would try to cut my fabric, my rotary cutter would just slide all over the table. So I got this self-adhesive mat from my mother-in-law, and I had that sitting there along with this yellow one that I keep on the side here. And this one is really, the yellow one is really small. So it's not quite working out. I thought I had found a solution when I watched some YouTube videos, and one of the YouTubers had this idea to tape these dollar store mats. These are cutting boards, and she taped them together with some duct tape. And I did that with these because I only could find 9 at my Dollar Tree. So I bought the 9 to see, kind of do a trial run with them. It's a good idea, except that I still have the issue when I run the blades across when I'm cutting with my rotary cutter, when it goes over the lines, the separation lines, and then also this little hole right there. So it's not going to quite work out either. If I could find another large one like this, I could maybe tape those together. So that would probably work. But anyways, it's a work in process. Down below, I have another sewing machine. So this machine right here is a Singer Heritage. This is actually Tim's sewing machine. When his mom passed away, she gave each of them a sewing machine. So he took this one, and they called it the Silver Bullet because of the sleekness and the color. But it's not a great sewing machine. But anyways, I just keep it stored down below. I also have these bins. I got these 3 bins from IKEA. They had this size, and they also had a smaller size. I can't remember the gallon size this is. It might be 10 gallons, but they had a smaller one, and I got 3 of these. And I didn't know if they would fit on this shelf in this space or not, but they fit perfectly. They have a lift, but I can't open it. I can't open them all the way with them sitting on the shelf. So I do have to pull them out whenever I need something, but it's no big deal. So So the top just comes off. It's called the Certera, and this is 16 gallons. I have my jewelry making supplies in here. I bought this container. Here's one container that I have my jewelry in. So these are just pieces of like hooks that I use for my jewelry. I got this container from Michael's. So it just keeps them all sorted out. Just have to make sure it's closed. Here's pieces of twill tape that I got for making my Dana bags. These are like leftover scraps. Some of them are new too, but I just keep them in this plastic bag. And I also have some more in here. And I have some cording in here that I also use for jewelry and crafts. I have these popsicle sticks that I bought for my shibori making. I actually should put these in here. And I got 2 of these containers from IKEA, and they have my jewelry supplies. I found these little containers so I can put like little tiny beads in. I got these from the dollar store. And then I also have this little magnet case for some more larger size beads. The tops don't stay on, that's why I have them. I still keep them in here. And then these are just little pieces that I use for making earrings. And these are more supplies for making earrings. I bought these cords from the dollar store. I want to make a bag, another type of Dana bag, so I got these for that. Here's some jewelry cord. This is actually stretch jewelry cord. Here's my wire, different colors of wire that I use for making my wire earrings and what other jewelry that I decide to make. And here's another one that I have some other tools for making jewelry. And then I have this case for more acrylic paint. And this is just a little container, food container that I got from the kitchen. It's not room in there, so I'll just have to go back in here. Organizing is always a work in process. But everything stacks up nicely in here with these containers. The next container has some scraps that I folded and placed it, in here. So this one is not quite full yet, so I still have some room in here for scraps. I keep my bottle of water here. This one is a little more full. I bought these chopping mats from the dollar store. I cut them in half and I used them for wrapping my fabric. So not all of my fabric is wrapped in these. Some of them I just wrapped with nothing. So, but I have them like wrapped like this. And they're just stacked in there. So in this one I have actually 2 rows. So I have, I think, a calendar to separate them, give them a good foundation. And then I just put another row here, and then here's some more that I just, some additional pieces that I put there. I did have some pieces of cardboard also that I wrapped with, wrapped some with also. Back here I have this little bin. It's a wicker bin that I have a couple of pattern pieces apparently, but really it's unfinished projects, or like this is like pieces of a couple shirts that I had planned to turn into some tube tops, but those are sitting here in this little bag. This is called a rice bag that I made with some scraps of fabric. And I made this mat. It's basically just a bed sheet that I cut up to the size of this table. So I lay this on top of the table when I'm doing my tracing. So this gives like my roller a little bit of cushion so that the roller indents the paper, if that makes sense. Here's a pattern that I was making. This is the Hannah dress by Victory Patterns. And I started on it and it was just too much for me to figure out at the time I started it. So I just packed it up. I just had it cut out in this plain navy blue fabric. This is just a plain cotton that I think I got from IKEA. And I don't know when I'll get back to that. I also have some pants that I had started on. This is the Butterick 6715 pattern. I would not recommend it. Yeah, so that's basically my UFO basket. Here's a planner that I have, but I got this from my sister-in-law a couple years ago. Well, actually, it's a 2020 planner. I didn't use it for planning, but a few months ago, I got the idea to put my swatches, my fabric swatches in it. And so that's what I started doing. So I just cut a piece of my fabric and then put it in here, and I just have a little note about how much I have in here. So that's what I've been using it for. I'll go down here and show you what I have down here. So I have a couple of these bins that I got from the Container Store, and it just has more scraps. These are smaller size scraps that I just threw down here. I can use that. I need to make some more masks. So I have 2 of these down here just sitting side by side. This is a little plastic container that I got from my mother-in-law. So it has elastic in this one, some D-rings. I believe these are snaps, and then some pins in the last one, and then they just all snap apart. And I also have this small milk carton with all of my elastic. So I ordered a ton of elastic last year, and this is what I had left. I was making tons of masks like everybody else. I have black, a couple of white, and then I also just keep some cord in there for whatever. Over in that corner, I have the rest of my wrapping paper over there. I stocked up, like I said, from Walmart. It was like half off after Christmas, so I just stocked up on it. So I probably have another year worth of wrapping paper. Here in this, right here in this little area, I have one of these crafting carts with wheels that most crafters have, and I just recently got that, and I love having this here. I can fit so much stuff. It keeps it organized. You try and see if you can see it. All right, so you can see all of my wrapping paper over there. I'll try and give you a summary of what I have. Down here, I have just some odds and ends, some miscellaneous items. I have a couple of leftover storage boxes. This is what I was using before I got those other containers, and the other containers just work out better. So I'm sure I'll probably use these for something else eventually. So I just have them stored down here. I bought a couple of mugs from the dollar store to practice doing vinyl. I have some more little containers. I have a little mouse that I bought at one point before I started using this one from my husband. This little magnetic box I got from the dollar store, and I just have some safety pins, paper clips, binder clips. Here I have some dye. I should probably put these over there so that all of my dye will be together. But anyways, I have these. And I also have this box too. I use these all the time. I buy these from Hobby Lobby. And I actually got these boxes of dye from my mother-in-law's stash. And I tried this. This is whitewash. So I started using this to wash my whites with. And it is awesome. Awesome. This is better than bleach, vinegar, whatever. I love this. So I've been using these for months now. And that's what I wash my whites with. My white clothes and fabric with. Have these just stored in here. I got this little box, this container box from IKEA. And they sell these for a little wall unit that you can hook on and on the wall with. As I kept walking, I saw that these were hanging on other things, that you didn't need the wall unit to hang these on. And so I bought these and they work perfectly. So as you can see, I have one hanging there and I have two hanging up there. And then this one, I just sit in here and it works out perfectly. I also have some other items, miscellaneous items. I think this is just canned air and some hand sanitizer. I have some Scotch Guard for protecting fabric. And then I also have some adhesive spray. And then back over there in that little plastic box, I have some little plastic baggies. So like these. In this little container, I have tape and some batteries. In this one, I have my markers and my roller wheels for tracing my fabric. And in that other one, this one, I have some more tape. So in this top bin, I have my serger, and it fits perfectly in here. I did have it sitting down below on the shelf under my table, but now I can just sit it right here. It fits perfectly. I have my lamp, one of my lamps there. And then I also have a few of these pattern weights. I made these with magnetic cups from the dollar store, and I did a video on how to make these. So I have 4 of these. So back up here I have, like I said, this clock, sewing machine clock that I got from my mother-in-law's stash. And I got this sunflower clock from, I think I got it last year from Barnes & Noble. And then here is, of course, my pegboard that I got from IKEA. I think most crafters have these. So I revamped this whole thing after watching some YouTube videos. I got some great ideas. Before watching YouTube, I had just several of these little hooks, and I had this, and I had these little cups. But after watching some YouTube videos last month, I ended up buying these hooks. So as you can see, they come out a lot further, so you can get all kinds of things on this one little hook. So that idea was priceless. So now I can put all of my scissors on one hook if I want. But I have a couple pairs of scissors there, and then I have my rotary scissors there, and then this little small pair here. I usually keep it there. I have this little bin with like patterns that I am working on or plan to work on in the near future. And then I have these little hooks also, so when I want to hang a pattern, I can just clip it like that and just hang it up. So I have these little cups also that I got. I have little clips here. I use these to clip my fabric together, and then I have some thread there and some pins there. I have a little ornament that I got from my mother-in-law for Christmas. It's a little sewing machine Christmas ornament, but I keep it hanging up in here. I have my forehead flashlight hanging here, and then here's where I keep my rulers. So I did have this ruler that I would just sit on the floor behind my mirror when I was watching those YouTube videos. And when I got the idea with my hooks, I decided to just get them off the floor and hang them here so that they'll be like right here when I need them, and I can hang all of them right here on one hook. I did have this one just sitting in here, but now I can have room for other stuff by just hanging this up. And this is just a curved ruler. And because they have these holes, it's perfect. I love this. So I always love my pegboard, but now I love it even more. So now up here, you can see where I keep my patterns. Most of my patterns I keep here. And I got these magazine folders from IKEA and Amazon. And they're all labeled. Like, this is how I have them labeled. This is my independent patterns. I have a Simplicity, several boxes for Simplicity. I have Men's, Butterick, Sew, and Berta, Independent, Vogue, McCall's, my Dana bag patterns, Simplicity, New Look, and apron pattern. And like I said, I just keep my patterns in these sleeves, in these little plastic sleeves. So this is working out. I didn't revamp any of this. So now we'll come over here by the window. So here's my desk where I do like my business stuff or whatever. I have my monitor and my actual computer. I have this wireless keyboard. I have this little case. This is actually a Fossil watch case that I have little odds and ends in. I keep a dust cloth here for my glasses and also cleaning off my screen. Then over here I have a mug that I got from my husband Timothy. He recently went on a guy's trip to Vegas. He brought me back this mug. Then I have this little binder that I got from my sister-in-law that I just keep my notes in. I have this magazine folder, another magazine folder. These are handy in so many ways. So I have these for all of my external hard drives. I just have them plugged up and just stored in there. So here I just keep this jar. This was a candle jar, and I just have all of my pens and different markers that I need. And I'm sewing my fabric markers. I use this on a regular basis. I have my seam rippers there, or one of them. Next to that, I just have my batteries, both of these containers. I have a pin cushion. This little bin, I have my needles sorted. And then if I change my needle and I have a good needle in my machine, I put these little plastic or these little magnetic strips so that I could keep my pin there. I got this idea from YouTube a while ago. I have this plastic case. I got this idea from YouTube once again. These are all individual little cases that I got from the dollar store. It might have been, I think it was 3 in a pack. Yeah. So I used to have these little odds and end things like just sitting in little cases on my windowsill, but now this organizes them so much better. And what I did was just hot glue them together. So in this one, I have my bobbins, and then I have these little self-adhesive cushions I actually put these on the bottom to keep it still so it doesn't shift around. There I just have some little razors. Here I have pen and some caulking or some chalk, fabric chalk. Those two are empty. And then I have my labels for when I sell things. Have some more fabric chalk in there and wax. Here I have a wrist pin cushion and some ponytail holders for my serger thread. Next to that, I have some more pattern weights. I got these from my mother-in-law's stash, and I love these. These are so cute. So I have 8 of those. I also ordered these pattern weights from Thanks I Made Them. She's a lady that I follow on Instagram, and I have 8 of those. No, actually I think 12 came in a pack. They are so cute. I had her put sunflowers on them, sunflower designs. And I keep this little coaster here for a couple of my sewing machine foots. I have my fan, and then I have another little plastic container with my sewing machine attachments, my bias tape maker, sewing machine duster. So I have that sitting there. And then over in the corner I have my dress form, Sasha, and she's just wearing a blazer. It's actually a ready to wear blazer, but I put it on her for some reason, and I just never took it off. And then I just have a hat that I bought last year for St. Patrick's Day, but I don't really wear it. Then here's my chair. I have it wrapped with a sweater, but my best guess is I got this from Office Max. I can't really remember, but it's sufficient. I have this foam board that I got from the dollar store. Then I have my ring light here. I think I actually want to hang this on the door, on the back of my door, to get it off the floor. So I think I might hang this somewhere. Oh, I can hang it here. So over here, this is the utility room behind this door, and I just have this this shoe rack hanging here, and it has all of these miscellaneous items that I use on a regular basis hanging there. I have my measuring tape hanging here. It's actually hanging on a phone hook, like what you attach to the back of your phone, but it wouldn't stay on my phone, so I just put it here and just hung my measuring tape there. Then I used this little tiny command hook to hang my little ruler here. I think I just had it hanging. Actually, I think I had this hanging on my pegboard, and I could actually still put it there, but yeah. I ordered this from Amazon, but it works nicely there. Then, like I said, these are just different items that I have stored here. Here's some pens that I use for my Cricut maker. Here's tools that I use for flipping tubes. I have several different attachments that I use for jewelry making, so those are stored in here. I have glue sticks or fabric glue there. I have a measuring tape there. I have different items in here. I have some rotary blades in there, some more rotary blades in there. I have some scissors here. This is where I keep my paper scissors, so Tim knows exactly what scissors he can use. So these are here. These are fabric scissors, but I don't really use them, but they don't hang on my pegboard, so I have them just sitting here. Here's a label maker that I recently got. Here's some more plastic containers. Some pencils, some just plastic bags, a lint roller, a lint rag, some dryer sheets for lint. Here's my bag that I grab to put my iPad in whenever I'm going to the park to take pictures. So I just throw it in there, and it has some other little items, snacks, bug spray. It has my clickers. I actually hang my tripod on this hook up here, and it works perfectly. It gets it out of the way, keeps it off of the floor, and whenever I go to the park, I just grab my bag, and my iPad is just hanging right here on the door. Here I just have a couple of aprons that I made. Then next to that is my floor mirror. So over in this area is basically my overflow of sewing supplies. I have fabric in most of these bins, plastic bins on the floor. And then as you can see, my Cricut maker is sitting there. I have another pattern here that I keep there. I have another one of those 3 shelf hearts sitting over there in the corner. This was another game changer. It's actually plastic, but I found this at Target. It's also in a gray, and I keep my shipping supplies in that. It fits perfectly. I love that. And of course, as you can see, I mean, you can't miss it. My stable bike sitting there. Oh, and a bag that I made. How cute is that? So I want to make another one of these bags. But yeah, this was just, I saw something on Pinterest and I made it. And then I just have some of my hats stored there. Alright, so that was my sewing room tour. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!